Okay, early this morning after my workout at Whitey's Fitness Body Shop, Lori Mack asked me, "What are you making today?" Well, I'm going to show you, and it involves this funny looking thing. So I'm going to shift gears here pretty quickly, so pay attention. So this funny looking thing is called in Italian finocchio, which is like Pinocchio, but with an F on the front, finocchio, or fennel. And so I've peeled off the outer skin, and I'm just gonna chop off this part here, because you're not gonna eat that part. And this hard part on the bottom, you want to remove that, cut that off, and cut this into, I'm going to do 3 pieces, and then I'm just going to soak them in some water. So, because there's some other stuff I'm going to be doing. So soak those in water for a bit. Okay. Now I'm going to get to the main part of my meal, which would have been an involtini with veal, but can't get veal here. So I guess I'm gonna have to really become good friends with a farmer, a beef farmer that can get me access to veal, but the substitution is pork. So I'm gonna do pork. I'm gonna have to pound that out. So first I'm just gonna do the filling for the involtini, which is like to roll the meat. So it'll be a filling on the inside. So we're gonna start with about 6 tablespoons or so of olive oil in your pan, because the meat's gonna absorb a lot of that oil. So you need a lot of oil to cook. So that's how I always say, get a big bottle. Okay, then you're gonna add some chopped onion, white onion to that. Okay, now that my onions have cooked for a bit, I'm gonna add some capers to that. So probably, these are quite intensely salty, so it just depends how you like it, but I would say about 3 or 4 teaspoons to that. And then some raisins. So maybe a good handful of raisins. That's going to give it a nice sweetness to it. And this is amazing. Chopped up prosciutto, already chopped up. So I got this at Safeway. I use this all the time to make my omelets in the morning, and it smells so good. So you're gonna take some of the chopped prosciutto, put that in, and mix it up. Okay, while that's cooking, I'm going to do the meat. So I've got my pork, and I have to pound it out. So I just laid some plastic here, and basically you're gonna put it in the plastic, cover that over, and I don't have a proper mallet, so here we go. Nice and thin so that it's easy to roll, okay? So you're gonna do that with all your pork, as much as you're gonna make. Okay, now that that's all done, the meat's all pounded, I'm going to prepare my filling. So this has been cooking. Now you can add walnuts to this. I decided not to. It gives it a texture, it gives it a crunch, and you can like that nutty taste, but I just decided not to. So I'm just going with what I've got here. So I cut up some bread here to make some little bread cubes. And I'm just going to add this to my bread. Just like so. Get all the onions, the capers, the prosciutto cubes, the raisins. And you're gonna mix that in with your breadcrumbs. Ooh, that smells good. Really get that in there. Then you're gonna add a little bit of white wine. Vino Bianco. Not too much because it's Friday and I'm gonna have a drink today, so a little bit of vino to that. Mix that up in there. Oh, that smells even better. Mm-hmm. And then some salt and pepper. Un po' di sale. And some pepper. Where's my pepper when I need it? Right here. Too many spices here. Un po' di sale, un po' di pepe. If you want to get in there, just use your hands. Just make sure it's well mixed into the bread. This bread I chopped up actually had like jalapeno and stuff in it, so it's gonna be interesting because I love that kind of stuff. But you can just use regular plain bread. And there's my filling. Now we're gonna fill the involtini. Okay, so next we're gonna take our pounded out pork. We're gonna pretend it's veal. And we're going to fill that with our filling. So take a spoon and put about a good spoon size right somewhere that our filling is in the middle. We're gonna roll it up, okay? So you're gonna take it by the end here. Just try to get all that in there. Oh God, this is gonna be so good. And you got all your filling in there, and then take a couple of toothpicks and just hold it together. Stick them in there. Voila. So there's one involtini, and you're gonna do the same with the other ones. Okay, now here's where things can get a little messy, but only if you let it get out of control. Because now we're gonna need some farina, some flour. So we're just gonna take our involtini that we've rolled up and just kind of roll them in the flour just very lightly, just to coat them a bit. Just like that, and then into the pan. Next, we're going to add to our pan some thick bacon or some pancetta, just cut up in chunks. So just take your pancetta and just cut it up in chunks. Okay, and then you're just going to add that to the pan. That up. Then we're going to add some of our white wine to that. Give about half a cup or so. And then your favorite tomato sauce. So I'm going to use this to add to that. You can use crushed tomatoes too. I'm just going to put a little bit of water in this. Just try to get out as much as I can. I really want to use this stuff up. Okay, so now we're ready to do our finocchio. So it's been soaking in water. If you don't like anise or black licorice, you may not like this because it has a really strong taste, but what I'm gonna do to it is gonna soften that a bit so it won't be as intense. So I've just put a little bit of olio de oliva in my pan and switch that around. Get this to a medium heat. And you're gonna take some fresh parsley, prezzemolo, and cut some of that up. And Gianni always says, add the parsley first into the oil. So we're gonna add some of the parsley. Well, I guess my pan was a little hotter than I thought. Add your parsley. Turn that down a bit. Meanwhile, my involtino is simmering here on the side. And then I'm gonna take a few heads of garlic, just as much as you like. Contrary to popular belief, Italian cooking doesn't use a lot of garlic. In fact, they find that kind of offensive to use a lot, but it does involve garlic. So, you know, just use what you like or what you're used to. So some garlic in there, the rest of the parsley. Let this sort of get into the oil. Then you're going to take your finocchio and just place it into the pan. Mix that around. Sort of coat it in the oil, coat it in the garlic, coat it in the parsley. And then in a few minutes, we're going to add some breadcrumbs to it. Okay, now we're going to add a little bit of breadcrumbs on top of our finocchio that's been cooking. So just a little bit. I only got a small one from the store. There are bigger ones, but I just grabbed a small one of the finocchio. Sort of coat that in the breadcrumbs a bit. Put that over. Maybe a little bit more. And don't forget to turn your little rolls here over, so your involtini. So I did that, and just going to continue to let it cook. And now comes a little bit of grated Parmigiano cheese. So that's going to go on top of your finocchio. So just a little bit of Parmigiano. Oh, whoops. Oh, jeez, can't even hold these things. I have not been drinking yet. But here we go. Okay, I'm going to shut that down. We're almost ready to eat. And here we go. I've got my involtini and my finocchio and a little glass of wine to go with that. So let's try a little bit of this. It's got the filling inside. Oh, wow. This looks amazing. Let's try it. Mmm, 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 mmm. Some of the finocchio. Mmm. Mmm, mmm, mmm. Delicious. Bravo. Eat your heart out, Lori Mac.